Hello, everybody. I'm Katrina. This is Sow and Tare. This is a live chat we do every Monday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Wondering if we're missing people because daylight savings time started yesterday. So I'm going to guess some people are going to trickle in as we go on. So welcome. This is your first time here. If you have any questions in the chat, go ahead and put them in the chat. We talk about everything homestead related. If you have questions for other people in the chat, go ahead and put it in the chat. And we always have a good time. So if we're talking about something, you want to talk about something else, put it in the chat. We'll talk about what you're interested in. So let's get started. Keep everything family friendly. All right. Welcome. Hey, Ed says he got first like, but I think Dawn does for real. She did that in the Facebook group. Welcome, Ed. I hope everybody's feeling better at your place. And Verna, Vay's place. Verna, I hope you are doing really, really well. Hope you're feeling better. Vay's place is Verna. She is my moderator. You'll see her in blue with a little wrench. And she catches bad guys. And she has her own channel that she does if you're interested in raising animals in your apartment, raising food outside your apartment. She is the place to go. There you go. And hey, bet the third is Dawn. Oh, I guess not. It's PJ. PJ, welcome, PJ. Welcome. And PJ is one of Katrina's kits. She was on the first Cook With Me Live that happened a couple weeks ago now. And we had a blast. It was so much fun. There should be a join button down below if you're wanting to join that as well. And Ed is saying, nice to see you, Verna. Hope you're feeling better. Absolutely. My hope as well. And yeah, hopefully all that yuckiness is going away. Verna says, a little bit better. Been up an hour after last nap. That's good. Progress. And Steve's here. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Steve. Hope you're doing all right. Yeah, don't overdo it, Verna, like Ed says. For sure. Everybody's saying hi. Verna's asking, Katrina, when it comes to rabbits, what day do you put the next nesting box in? I put it in on day 26. I don't count the day of breeding. Usually because we do it at night, but day 26 is when I put those in. And I don't think I've ever had one before like day 29. Probably day 30. 30 and 31 are the most popular birth times for my rabbits, which I no longer have those ones, but yeah, day 26. Good luck. Hey, Feather Connections Homestead's here. Hey, she says. Welcome, Kelly. Welcome. Everybody's saying hi. PJ says hi, Katrina. Hi. And Dawn's here, just made it. Welcome, Dawn. Welcome. I saw that you got your first one in on Facebook. Yeah, Dawn's saying to Verna, hope you're glad you're here. Hope you're feeling better. Absolutely. She says a little better, but needs more coffee. All right, we're getting a slow start here. I think Wendy says hi, everyone. And tell Wendy hello, and I hope she's feeling better. Yeah, we're getting a slow start here. I think everybody's off a little bit with a time change. Who was surprised when it was a little bit darker outside a little bit earlier? It always seems like it's a lot earlier, not a little earlier, right? Yeah. Everybody saying hi. Hey, Diana, Tuttle Top Farms here. Hello, all. Welcome back, Verna. Missed you. Yes. Welcome. All right. So how'd you guys do with the time change? I did completely fine, except for it was a little bit darker when I was, ending work and wanted to get stuff done outside. So I guess I'm going to have to do that before work now. So yeah, it is fully dark here now, for sure. Oh, she's still not feeling great, Ed? Well, I hope she's on the mend, at least. Yeah, hopefully she's at least on the mend. So this is not the topic of the day, but I wanted to show you guys something cool. We have our first pineapple guavas. If you haven't heard me talk about this or haven't seen them, I do have a couple videos on my channel. Those are pineapple guavas. Not a pineapple, not guavas. So, how many of you guys have had these things? You guys have had these? Let me know. And then I'll see what else you guys are saying. Hey, Witch Doctor's here. Hey, yeah. Hey, Witch Doctor. Welcome. PJ put everyone to bed very, very early last night. They didn't complain. Oh. And Dawn says, time change is fine. This one doesn't bother me, except my birds lay an hour earlier. And I'm not out to grab the eggs on time anymore. Oh, yeah, I know. Hey, Buster says hi to all. Hi, Buster. Never had one. We're talking about pineapple guavas. Yeah. Oh, Ed says, didn't notice time change. One clock said 1:35. One other said 2:35. Next time I looked, it was 2 a.m. There you go. See that? If you have ones that change automatically, like your computer and your phones change automatically, but like my oven doesn't change automatically, and I have a clock in the bedroom that doesn't change automatically, so I have to do that. Yeah. Steve says never had one of them either. All right, let's see what other people say. Buster says, Verna, hope you're doing better. Absolutely. And Verna says, didn't even know time change. Well, with everything you have going on, that's the least of your worries. There you go. Oh, no. So Kelly has an update on my mother-in-law with cancer. For those who are curious, she had her double mastectomy today and doing great. I am glad that she's doing great. That's tough. That's really tough. But good to hear that she's doing good. Never had a pineapple thingy. Pineapple guava. Feijoa is the other one. The other name for that. Buster's never had one. Wick Doctor, she had bronchitis. Yeah, PJ says glad she's doing well to Kelly. Yeah. And same thing from Verna. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So pineapple guava, I'll just do a quick thing. If you guys are interested in them, I do have a couple videos that you can watch that go into more detail. But these are, they're evergreens that are drought tolerant. So I don't remember what zones they are. You have to watch the video to see the zones. I'm in zone 9. I know it's good hotter and colder than zone 9. But in the grocery store, when they have them, which probably in the Midwest, they're probably not going to have them. But these are usually a little bit bigger, and they're like 3 something a piece. It's ridiculous. But you can have your own fruit for free. Not for free. You got to pay for the tree. Then after that, it's free. And then you have the fruit, and then the flower, the petals taste like the fruit. So you can eat the skin or not eat the skin. I bite them in half. This one's really good. I just got some juice. Yeah. Make sure it doesn't drip on the computer. And this is what it looks like inside. It has these little tiny seeds. Like they do. They're not tiny. They're pretty big. But they're hard, so you don't want to crunch them. Kind of like guava too. But that is good. It's all good to eat. These are best when they fall on the ground. And the tree gives them up. The tree says, here, they're ripe. Have them. And that's when they're best. Now, I also shake them. After I harvest the ones on the ground, I also shake them, and they're ripe. So it's pretty good. Anyway. Good stuff. And if you're in an area that you can grow these in, again, I don't remember the zones. I wasn't planning on talking about this except for it was out there. And hey, show you guys. I highly recommend them because you don't have to water them, but they do better with water. So yeah. And there are varieties, there are name varieties. And then there's also I have 2 of them in the front. They make for great park strip trees because they don't bump up the concrete. Yeah. Oh, I need to look. Kelly, look it up. Let's look it up since I'm talking about it. USDA zone, planting zone. Pineapple guava. You might be, Kelly. 8 through 11. 8 through 11. There you go. Zones 8 through. You don't know your zone, Kelly. Type your zone. Okay, I'm gonna go up see what you guys said. Kelly says never even heard of one. So nope, haven't eaten that thing in your hand. Yeah, never heard of them. Was it under the sea, Dawn? I must have missed something. Oh, never had a pineapple thing under the sea. Got it. Okay. Yeah, you guys, nobody's had it, huh? Yeah, Witch Doctor says take care of your lungs. Absolutely. You would try one, PJ says. Yep. And Buster says take care of Verna. We're worried about you. Absolutely. It's good to hear that you're napping and that you're healing. Why are they called that? So I'm going to spell check myself. Ahoya? There it is. I'm just going to copy this. This is the other name for it. Or pineapple guava. I think people call it pineapple guava because it tastes between a pineapple and a guava. It doesn't, but it's its own unique taste, for sure. Yeah. So it tastes like, Dawn, it tastes, it's sweet, but it's not super sweet. And it's almost like a gelatinous thing, but not like in a gross way. Like not as far as like a kibiya fruit. But it does have high pectin in it. To me, it's a little bit more citrusy than pineapple-y, but it does have that acidity to it. It has a lot of pectin in it. I've made jelly with it. It's really good. So I think it's good. It has more depth of flavor. It's kind of like more, you know how tropical fruits have more depth of flavor? Kind of, most of them. It kind of has that. So, yeah. All right. And Kelly, if you type into the computer your zip code and USDA planting zone, you'll find out what your zone is. Thanks for showing us, PJ said. Yep, you're welcome. I know I grow some weird things, so you guys get to see it. Verna wants some seeds. We can do that. I think they go from cutting too. They must have because they have name varieties. So yeah. Not you there then with your zone, PJ? Yeah, you're probably colder, huh? Kelly says, no, I don't, because there's like A through Z sun classes too. No, USDA planting zone is what you're looking for. Yeah, you could grow them in a greenhouse, PJ. That's a good point, Verna says. Yeah. Dawn says the internet description doesn't sound like it tastes real good. So I'm a member of the California Rare Fruit Growers, and last year we did a tasting, and people brought named varieties and unnamed varieties, and hey, from my neighbor or whatever, and we all tasted them, and there were ones that were just and there were ones that were delicious, and one of my trees was one of the ones that was one of the top ones. It maybe has a name variety, but I don't know. I just bought it as a pineapple guava. And they have, so it depends on the variety, and it also depends on what you taste, like what you want to taste. Do you like this flavor? Do you not like that flavor? Like, I love how guavas smell. I do not like how they taste. It's going to be personal preference too. So yeah. PJ says my pigs are in the non-existent greenhouse. Aww. Yeah, I got that, Ed. Pineapple thingy under the sea. SpongeBob SquarePants. Oh boy. Okay, Steve says I think Kelly is 6A or 7B. If you're 7B, you could try it. Even if you're 7A, you could try it. You could try it in 6 too, but it might not be as successful. You just have to get it past the infant stage, I guess, you know. Dawn says it's sweet and tart. So that's kind of what I was trying to describe with a citrusy. Because you know how pineapple has that tartness and it has that sweetness? It's more like that comparison, but not quite as strong either direction. Yeah. And not as tart as a passion fruit at all. Yeah, it's much sweeter, Verna. Yeah. Witch Doctor's been talking to Connell and excited about getting the extraction machine. Awesome. 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 I'm doing that too. Kelly, I'm going to do it for you. Okay. Kelly, you are wonderful. You're a range 5B, 6A, 6B, and 7A. So you're gonna have to look at a localized map. They have those, so it's one of those. So you have your zip code, then that, and you'll get your zone. Yeah. So Steve got the same answer I did. So sometimes when you're in an area, what it does the whole zip code, right? So the whole zip code may have, canyons and mountaintops, right? So you have to then look at the map and zoom in on the different colors and find out. Yeah. Yeah. Dawn's 5B, Verna's 6B. You could grow in a pot. Yeah. And Verna's figs are still waiting to be repotted. Okay, so Kelly's done it before. Says, yeah, I saw the range when I looked before, but I think Christina figured it out. Yeah, there's maps that you can zoom into, so that's pretty fun to figure that out. And then once you figure that out, you'll know you need to know that and your chill hours to plant, to know like if you're going to get fruit for a certain plant. Because there's certain fruits that need a certain amount of chill hours. There's certain fruits that don't. So there's two things that's good to know for your area. And there you go. You just don't know what it was though. Yeah, you'll have to find that map and zoom in on it and find where you are. And they have these color codings that you can look at. So anyway, I thought that was pretty cool to show you guys. And this is one of the rare fruits in winter. So this is the first ones that came off the tree. I think last year it didn't come until December. I'm just going to finish this one because it's open. Yeah. So the fruits in the wintertime here is the citrus and the pineapple guava. Is there anything else? Figs go into fall. I still have figs. They're ripening so slowly though. Yeah. Yeah. Some people eat skin. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. And different varieties have more flavorful skin. Brenna wants to know how tall the tree is. Mine are probably only about 8 feet, maybe 9 feet, but it's an understory tree, so it's I think the tallest I've seen are probably like 15 to 20 feet. They don't get huge. They have really neat looking flowers and edible petals. That's cool. Yeah. There we go. Steve, did you Google it? Grow as high as 20 feet tall. Yeah, there's a couple trees like a few blocks away that look mature and they're not going to get any bigger, Yeah. Most typically seen as a shrub is 6 feet. So that is, forget the seeds then. So it can be grown as a tree or as a shrub. So you can prune it however you want, but you can have one leader and grow up as a tree, or you can have multiple. And I was doing tree, and then I just stopped cutting the little sprouts from the base, and so it's a big bush out there now. Yeah, you can keep it as a bush height. I've seen that it's often used here. People don't know about it. They grow it because it's evergreen and because it has pretty flowers. Probably mostly because it's evergreen. And they grow it as a shrub. They actually like hedge trim it. And like the In-N-Out drive-through here is next to a hotel, and that hotel has a whole shrub of In-N-Out is a burger place. Had a whole hedge of pineapple guavas, and they were ripe and they were all down there. So I got out of the car and I grabbed some because nobody's eating them, and it's like so much fruit going to waste. So central coastal, I guess, California. Then that is something that to watch out for, is to learn to identify it, and then look in parking lots, look in like, any place there's something that's hedged, do that. Yeah. So there you go. Of course you Googled it. Steve says, too much room for all you're doing now. Yeah, I get it, Verna. Yes, Ed, it came. I just plugged some things into it, so I have to test it, but it looks, lights came on for a couple of them. Thank you for doing that. No, I didn't, Steve. It was the hotel next door. It's like this privacy hedge that they had between on the hotel property, between the drive-through and the hotel. I just took a little bit, but nobody was getting them. Yeah, so Steve says, so you shoplifted from In-N-Out burgers? No, I did not. And then continues to say, I had gotten a shake. Their shakes aren't that great, I have to say. Yeah. So, how's everybody's Halloween? We had no trick-or-treaters. I, of course, didn't have my light on, so that's probably why I had none. But my neighbor down the street was texting, and she's like, anybody need some candy? We got way too much to hand out. And I texted back, you can give double. She's like, I think I'm going to give quadruple. And so she had a lot of candy to begin with. And then they only got 8 trick-or-treaters. So I was like, oh, did they like make out with a lot of candy? She's like, yep. So anyway, PJ says, I never have any trick-or-treaters. But do you prepare for it? Because that's the same thing. My parents don't have them anymore, and my mom prepares for it every year. Yeah. Steve said, I had one little girl trick-or-treating. She left with more than she bargained for. Yep. Witch doctor says we don't either. Yeah, they go to the rich neighborhoods. I mean, one of Manuel's daughters wanted to go trick-or-treating last minute, and they did. They went up to one of the rich neighborhoods, and it's like, there's plenty of houses. Anyway, I kind of think it's weird that we tell kids not to talk to strangers, and then we tell them to go get candy from strangers' houses. Don says, we don't have kids come around. They just go to people they know only. I heard some on the night before Halloween night. It was like 20 degrees. No kids were out. But I had a Halloween hatch. Hey, how many did you have hatch? Yeah, Witch Doctor's saying we didn't even get them in Vegas. Wow. Steve says, I get the candy I like, so I'm not disappointed if there are none. The other way to do that, Steve, is to get hard candy, because it will last a couple years before it goes bad. Yeah. And then you don't eat all of it. Dawn says, actually, people take their kids to the church and businesses for trick-or-treating around here. Wow. Okay. Yeah, Verna says exactly. They go to rich neighborhoods, not realizing even there you can get trouble candy. Yeah. Witch Doctor, your story's so funny. She says, I met my husband trying to get free candy. That worked out well. As long as he still gives you free candy. Dawn says, I had 16 out of 16 eggs that went into lockdown. Awesome. That is good. Good. Congratulations. Who else participated in Halloween Hatch? I know that's something that Verna was doing. Verna, how many did you have hatch? Dawn says, so the bank gave hubby a real nice bag of candy. Then a customer had bottles of booze for his adults for Halloween. So he came home with that too. All right. Yep. Steve says they think they get better candy at the rich neighborhoods. They give out the same stuff. Yep. 22 out of 28. That is pretty darn good, Verna. That's good. I am 3 days into collecting eggs. I'm going to be testing. I did buy a while ago some smaller Brincias to do the hatching at home, and I need to test them. So I'm going to test them all at once. I think I got 5. I just went all in on this thing, and hopefully it works. So, yeah. She says, ooh, Dawn, I'm changing banks. Witch Doctor needs an incubator. You have one, don't you? Or did you get rid of one? You should have incubator. Buster says, I had 78 out of 100 for Halloween Hatch. That is awesome. Good. Dawn says he had good candy in that bag. And it's what they give the kids that came by the bank too. Okay. And Verna's saying, wonderful, Buster. Absolutely. Steve says, no, I want the adult candy giveaways. Gift candy. Oh my gosh. No. Yeah, I didn't even do it. I haven't done it in a few, well, we had COVID and all that, but I haven't done it in a few years, and that's fine. I mean, there's not that many people that come by the neighborhood anyway, and I don't need it around because I will eat it. Yeah. So there you go. All right. So anybody know the topic today? If you watch the Monday week in review, you might already guess it. Anybody guess it? I want somebody to guess it. Somebody's got to guess it. Steve likes to dress up and walk down the street and scare all the kids. Oh my gosh. My parents one year, I think my mom hung up the laundry and my dad's jeans, like they're out there for a long time. And it was like stiff, like you could stand them up. So we stood them up on the front porch, and like there was just pants standing there by themselves. Anyway, Kelly says, on my birthday, October 27th, happy birthday. My hatcher malfunctioned and spiked to temps of 120 while we were out celebrating. So my Halloween hatch was 0 out of hundreds. Oh, they were from Gidros too. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Verta says, I already forgot what the weekend review was all about. You are okay with that. You got to sleep. Oh man. Yeah. Witch Doctor says, Kelly, I'm so sad for you. Yeah. Oh no. Sorry, Kelly. Dawn says, absolutely. Well, getting a new hatcher. Hopefully. Yeah. Well, okay. Nobody remembers, huh? You guys want to name some bunnies? Ending the garden. Oh, the end of the garden. It's not done yet. We just got rain. Yeah. So I would like to get your guys' input on names for our little girl bunnies, who are the black ones, the girls. Which doctor's asking, boys or girls? They are Tortellini's daughters that we kept because Tortellini and Meatball passed. So they are they'll be old enough to breed in March. So over the next couple of weeks, I'll put them in their own hutches. They're still in the shared hutch right now, but they'll be in their own hutches then, and being good. Yeah. Jackalope. Ed, what are you talking about? We talked about jackalopes last time. Oh boy. Feather Connection says, ha ha ha, yeah. I had another ordered and Amazon never delivered it. I ordered again today. Oh my gosh. Janealope. Jackalope, Janealope. Ed, Eric's not here yet. You got to repeat that later. Okay, you guys are coming up with things, huh? So the rules are for the ladies' names for the bunnies. Those don't work, Ed. So the rules are they have to be Italian food themed, and they cannot be tortellini, ziti, meatball, parmesan, rigatoni, or ravioli. I think anything else is fair game. Because those are already existing or they are already there. Okay. I have to type these out, though, while we're doing this. So I'm going to make my typing out screen small and see what I could do. Okay. We have... How do you say that, Steve? Bucatini? Bucatini. I'm going to have to look up how to pronounce all these, too. Penne. I like that one. Tinkerbell. Aurora, Calypso. Those are not... They are good names. But I don't think they're not. Angel for angel hair pasta. Vermicelli. Is it vermicelli or vermicelli? That does not leave much. Oh, Dawn. Last time we did this, there was like a paragraph of names. Yeah. Linguini. That sounds like a boy's name. And that I can't spell apparently. Risotto. That sounds like one with attitude, and I have one with attitude right now. So one of them is like kind of cool and okay, and the other one's a little like, I don't want you near me. So part of that is because we decided that they weren't going to be food after their mom died when they were already several weeks old. I think they were 7 weeks old, I think, when their mom died. Yeah. Pesto. Pesto. Arancini? Are you Googling again, Steve? I don't know any of these pastas. Is that a thing? You're being laughed at by Witch Doctor. Dawn says, I remember... Oh, you remember last time? I guess my mind is shutting off for the night. That is okay, Dawn. It is a Monday, and it's the first Monday of daylight savings time stuff. So there you go. Prosciutto. Oh, wait. Nachi. I used to know how to say that. Cannoli. That's a nice one. Tiramisu. Is that Italian? Yeah, I know Italian food because we have meatball and parmesan. So that was those were the non pastas. Yeah. All right, that's a good list. We don't need more. If you guys think of a good one, I'm ready. I'm ready. Amaretti. I don't know. Is that a good accent? people are voting for Penne. And Feather and Shell, I know who you are. I do like Penne though. Baklava. I don't think that's Italian. Is that Italian? I'm gonna write it down, look it up. I'm pretty sure it's not. Oh boy, polenta. My goodness. It's Greek. Yeah, I thought so. It's tasty is what it is. Although I did have some recently that was not so tasty. All right, we have some good names. Yeah. So there is one with a little bit of attitude, and there is another that is a little bit more sweet. They still do not act like the other ones and don't come up for pets, but they'll come up for willow leaves. Focaccia. Focaccias are yummy. Very cool. So I think what I'm going to do is, like I did last time, I'm going to converse and see. Oh, polenta is Mexican, isn't it? I have to confirm these are Italian foods. And then give you guys like the top 4, I think. And we'll vote on them again. That was pretty fun last time. Penne is a sweet one. That's that. I like that name. I like that name. Yeah. I don't remember what the other 2 were that were voted down last time. I don't remember. Olive oil. All right, olive oil. That's getting creative. Yep, put the top 4 of the community post to be named. That's what I did last time. I'll do a vote and pizza. I think pizza. Oh, I'll write it down. I think pizza is actually American, isn't it? Or no, is it the way we make it is American? Maybe that's what it is. Minestrone is a good soup. Minestrone is a good soup. I forget which one, but there was a canned soup that was really good for that. Pizza's not Italian. I thought so. I thought pizza was not originally Italian. I thought originally it comes from the USA, but then it went back to Italy, as did tomatoes, by the way. And then they made up their own thing, which is different than our pizzas. Pinoy? I don't know what that is. Oh, in Naples. Okay, we have a history lesson from Steve. Pizza was first invented in Naples, Italy, as a fast, affordable, tasty meal for working class Neapolitans on the go. Leaning Tower of Pisa. Frito? Is Frito something other than the chip? Oh, it's a wine? I'm probably not going to name my bunnies after wine. I'm not an alcohol person. All right. And Witch Doctor says, some say Romans invented pizza. Man, you're throwing hands with Steve here. Basil? It's in Italian food. That's right. Just like Parmesan. Tiramisu. Love that stuff, Don says. All right. Frito? Misto? I don't know what that is. Misto. Paimon. I'm going to have to learn how to say these, guys. So I have not been doing as much socialization with them as I'd like. I did film another kind of session story time with them a couple weeks ago now. I haven't put it out though. But they are getting better at it. So there you go. Steve has fighting words. Says, well, the Romans were from Rome, from Italy. I'll let you have that. But it wasn't so. Oh boy. History rewrites itself, right? So I think we have good amount of names here. Are you guys starting your have you guys started your fall gardens? All right. Dawn says, oh, Bush Doctor is laughing at you, Steve. Dawn says pizza. Inevitable if we speak about Italian food. Pizza is a national symbol, food that represents Italy in the world and has been recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Yeah, so that is so interesting because like the sauce is made of tomato and tomato is from the Americas. So tomato is from the Americas here. And then it was thought when Europeans came here, they thought to the Americas, not here, California. They thought it was toxic because most tomato family is toxic, and it's a red fruit, and everybody was staying away from red fruits because that can mean toxic, right? Doesn't always, but it can. And so they just stayed away from it, and then it made its way over to Italy, and then that is when that came back as, oh, look at this yummy thing. I think that's kind of weird. Verna says, what is Frito Misto Piemontese? A unique, rich Piedmontese dish that combines meat, vegetables, and fruit in a glorious mix of fried delights. Meat, vegetables, and fruit. Fruit like what kind of fruit? Like I could see it being like a plantain, but not really like a strawberry. Interesting. Yeah, so Steve says on pizzas, their tops are much different than and less than we do. Yep. But in America, more is better, right? That's what we think. Dawn says I'm doing a November 1 micropalooza where everyone plants micro dwarf tomatoes from the Dwarf Tomato Project. Awesome. So how long does it take for those to come up? And random question, because I know you do aquaponics, is when they come up, like is that time period different than in the ground? Like, is there any, you know what I'm trying to say, right? Does it sprout faster or slower or whatever? Yeah. Tomatoes are a fruit, Steve. They are. Yep. But I've heard wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. Yeah. That is cool. So yeah, I found, and you guys would who watched the weekend review saw it. There is a little section in my yard that has a bunch of something. I don't know if it's a pumpkin or cucumber. It has like that kind of leaf, but it's in the pathway. So I don't know if I dumped seeds when I was doing that and it just happened to grow now, like right before it's time to hit frost. But I might dig those out and put them into the porch and see what happens. I don't know. Yeah. And Dawn says, I put the seed in a rapid rooter soaking in hydro water on the 1st. They came up on the 5th. And today, standing straight up. Yes, hydro is 20% more, or 20% and faster. Wow. That is amazing. Yeah. And tomato preserves are so tasty, especially yellow pear tomatoes. I have never had tomato preserves. Yellow pear tomatoes, man, I had one. The first couple of years I lived here, my neighbor had planted yellow pear tomatoes the year before, and there was one that grew in the crack of the sidewalk between our houses. So our houses are 10 feet away. The walls are 10 feet away from each other, and there's like a sidewalk on either side of the property line. And literally, it was like in a crack that big. And this humongous thing, we didn't water it. Neither one of us trimmed it. We just kind of walked around and harvested. And it was yellow pear tomato, and it was 17 feet long, 10 feet wide, only because that's how big the houses, the space is for the houses. And it went up the little fence we have in between. It went up 7 feet. Yeah, they would do that. I like tomatoes in things, or I like them cooked into like a sauce. Those are my favorite ways to eat them. Yeah. Micro dwarf seeds take 5 to 7 days to come up, or a bit longer, Dawn says. Okay. But that's pretty fast. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So I did actually take the time, and you'll see the video tomorrow is picking out seeds to plant, and I did that while I was dog sitting this weekend. He approved my seeds, and they have I have a lot of seeds. I went through a lot of them and decided what I'm planting. I am super late on planting things. I'm going to plant a couple things that don't really belong in this season, but I'm kind of making a gamble because I want to plant stuff in the green stalk and see how that works, kind of as a season extension kind of thing. So yeah, I'll be planting those. I was going to do that. I should have done that because it rained 0.05 of an inch last night, which is not that much. Yeah. Verna says, I like to eat tomatoes like you do apples. With peanut butter? Or cheese? I know, I tend not to do that. Oh, Buster says, I finally got my quail butchered over the weekend. Done 75 with help. That's a lot. Good job. Congratulations. Oh, Verna says, I thought you got a dog. Nope. I was doggy sitting, and he was very good boy. Yep. Verna says, wow, Buster, come help me. Okay, Dawn says, I just threw out a shishito pepper plant 5.5 weeks from seed, and it had 1 pepper and 30 blossoms on it. I needed the space. I'll restart more later when I can get rid of some of these tomatoes. Oh boy. Yeah. Shishito peppers. Maybe I'll try them again. I have the seeds, but I don't need to take up, valuable space with them, my experience. But I know that you said if they ripen, then that's better. So that's something to think about. Where it says, when fishing, you can make a tomato peanut butter sandwich and not worry about food poisoning. You could. Peanut butter goes with a lot of things. I've never had that, though. Steve says, I'm giving a friend 10 quail for them to raise in aviary. I'm trading a bushel of green tomatoes and other stuff. Awesome. Good job. And Verna says, I'm thinking of going down to 1 3-tier cage. Yeah, is that just because you're finding you're not needing as many? Yeah. Dawn says, if they are red, they are sweet. I'll plant 2 in a 5-gallon tote next time with a tomato cage around them. Awesome. Isn't it funny how tomato cages are used for everything except for tomatoes? Yeah. I use cattle panels for my tomato trellises, and it works. I mean, right now they're just sprawling everywhere because they're just huge, but I'm okay with it. You could take the time and weave them, or you could trim them, or you could make another trellis going somewhere else. Yeah. Or if you had the space, you could plant them further apart, which would be the way to do it. But I'm space limited, so I crowd them in, and it works. It's a good sandwich. Okay, Verna. Okay. Yeah, Don says I have cattle panel cages outside for tomatoes. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, those little tiny tomato cages. And I remember, like, I don't remember what my parents used when we did tomatoes growing up, but I don't think we did very many tomatoes, so I'm not sure that it mattered. Like we weren't making sauces or anything. But I do remember when I got my house and I, did tomatoes, I got those little tomato cages and like boop, and then that was worthless. And then I got another bigger one and okay, this year it'll be good. Nope. And then I got like the big Tractor Supply one and nope. It's like just get a cattle panel. Yeah. Dawn is asking Verna, if you go down to 1 3-tier cage unit, how many can you get in them? You can get quite a few in there. I think, is it 36? I could be wrong because I don't have them, but it might be 36. I don't know why I have 36 in my head. In each tier, or 18. I don't remember. 18. Okay, Dawn, I would have 18 in each of the top 2 layers, then use the bottom level as grow out pen. Yeah. That would work. Buster says, I've never tried a peanut butter and tomato sandwich, but fishing, you could have any sandwich would work. There you go. There you go. Yeah, Dawn says the little tomato cages work great for dwarfs inside. That's probably true. How big do the dwarfs get? Yeah, because I've never grown dwarf tomatoes. I just haven't seen the need for that. I think it's kind of a neat thing that someone might do, but not really something that I need to do for me. Okay, Verna has a plan. Make more room for a grow out cage for the rabbits. Yeah. That it always messes into my madness. Yeah, that would be a good thing because let's see, you have 2 moms. Yeah, because you can have grow out cages and they can have babies starting when you have them in the grow out cages. Yeah. And okay. Don says I am getting 2 to 3 foot dwarfs that give full size fruit. Okay. That's good. Yeah, that's tomato cage worthy. Yeah. All right. Well, cool. I plan on planting a bunch of things that you guys will see tomorrow. My plant, well, just the ones I chose. And it did rain today. I think it's supposed to rain tonight, maybe. And then like next week, it's supposed to maybe rain for 2 things, 2 days. And so I need to get those seeds in the ground. I still think I'm going to wait on the garbanzo beans. Garbanzo beans, you can get out, packages of those at the store, and those are totally plantable. You can soak them and then put them out there, and that's going to be cheaper than any seed packet. And, it's up to you whether you want organic or not, or certain varieties or not. But yeah. Ed says, anyone see the video I did for quail? I did not. I saw the email, or I saw it somewhere. Was it in an email? I have not looked at yet. I have been working. But I'm sure it's great. Dawn says dwarfs are 2 feet up to 78 inches tall, depending on what you want to grow. It's so funny. 78 inches. What is that? That's 6 feet something? About 6 feet? Yeah, that is a dwarf. They can get huge, guys. Buster says to Verna, do you have baby bunnies on the way? Hopefully. Oh, Verna says, yes, Buster. Mooney is pregnant. She looks it. Good. Sometimes you can tell, sometimes you can't. So yeah. And Ed says candles. That's awesome. That's awesome. I have dyed eggshells that have been cut for candles. I haven't done the wax yet. I have it. I have the wax. I have everything I need. I just haven't done that part yet. Yeah. And C says on my watch list. Uh-oh. PJ says raining here now. So you guys got slammed, didn't you, PJ? Did you get that storm? Did you and Ed get that storm? The Halloween storm, or was that further away from you guys? Yeah. Steve says, PJ, would you prefer snow? Oh boy. Okay, so Ed says that yes, it was an email. It's on their blog. Awesome. PJ's response to Steve asking if she'd prefer snow. He says, "Shut your face, Steve." Oh, gosh, that's a swear word in my house. I love it. Buster says, "Good luck for it on the bunny. He's excited for you." Yeah, absolutely, and that'll be your first Kindle. Well, their first Kindle with you, right? Yeah, it's very exciting, and when you have new bunnies, you're unlikely to see mom feed them. They're being fed if they have milk bellies and little poochy bellies. If they're skinny, then that's not the case. But yeah. Yep. Dawn says, no rain here, a beautiful 75-degree day. Tomorrow, cold 74, 20 degrees above normal. Dawn, the other day we had 81 here after having a few, like almost a week of low temperatures at night in the 30s. So that's the crispy plants you saw on the week in review. It's like they're still going, but they got crispified. Yeah. Verna's saying more girth on her waist, on the bunny's waist. Yeah. No, you didn't get the storm, PJ? That's good. Oh, and you didn't get it either, Ed. Okay. Verna says when she kindles mate her sister. Yeah. Yeah. And Dawn says I had a week of 20s at night before this. That's exactly what happened. It was 30s for us, but that was exactly what happened, is that it's like, oh, we're going to be winter. Nope. Psych, which is a good show. Yeah, that happened here too. But I mean, the pineapple guavas are starting to fall. Okay, they do also, I'll show you guys. They do also oxidize very quickly. So there's one. Okay. Here's a fresh one, an oxidized one. Oxidized, fresh. They oxidize very quickly. So if you are working with them and you're scooping them out or something, I would put lemon juice on them to make sure that doesn't happen, because they do oxidize quickly. Dawn says, I guess this is Indian summer, and Wednesday night it ends. Back into the 50s and 30s at night. All right. Here, Steve. Did you get it? He says Katrina should not be allowed to eat on the live unless she sends it out first. You know, would be nice, right? I wish I could share with all you guys, because these are good. They're so good. They're not as good from the store either. Like if you're in an area that has it at the store, you can get it just to taste it, but it's not the same as off the tree, because I am sure they pick them and then put them somewhere, and instead of waiting for them to fall on the ground. And the ground fall is the best ever. Buster says we were cold, but today was 84. Temps will fall towards the weekend. Yeah. And John says, I got up this morning, time change too, went out the door with my winter coat on, and it was 71. Yeah. I keep saying this. I predict that we're going to get a lot of rain. We're going to have a repeat of last year here. That's my prediction. And Steve says they pick most fruits green to ripen along the truck route or in a dark warehouse. Yep. And the only thing I feel it's okay to do that with is pears. So pears are ripe if you're holding the fruit and you lift it sideways and it comes off, then it's ripe. If you have to tug on it, it's not ripe. But they're going to be hard when they are actually ripe. So you can do that and lift it up and then refrigerate it. And then there are varieties that can last months in the refrigerator. And then when you're ready to get it out, you take it out, put it on the counter. Or in the store's case, they put ethylene gas on it and put it out. So I think that's the only thing I'm okay with doing that with. Like, it's still picked ripe. I don't know if it is picked ripe, but I would assume that it is picked ripe because usually a whole tree or most of a tree is ready all at the same time. What's your guys' experience? Nothing as good as off the plant, right, Buster? And Vernon's agreeing. Absolutely. If you've never had, a fresh fig, a fresh strawberry, yeah, fresh off the plant is best. And especially if it's the kind of plant that gives you the fruit. Like sometimes when these pineapple guavas, I'll be like, I'll touch it and it'll just come off. It's like, oh, this is for me. Thank you, tree. Yeah. So it's pretty good. Good night, Verna. I hope you're feeling better. Go for another nap. Actually, just go to bed. Sleep the night through. Heal up. Yep. Yeah, I haven't seen that nastiness for people getting sick over here yet. It probably isn't there yet. I mean, we'll probably get there. But yeah. Okay, Verna says won't be live before Saturday. All right. Rest well. Buster says, I had a friend in California that brought me some oranges and they were great. Yeah. Oranges fresh off the tree. Yeah. Also something you should not have to yank on. If you pull and twist and it comes off, that's the best thing ever. Yeah. And Steve says, we have a local orchard farm stand, and their fruit is so much better than from the grocery store. Absolutely. Dawn says, good night, Verna. Witch Doctor says, feel better, Verna. Buster says, Verna, you take care. Absolutely. And Dawn says, time for me to get off the internet for the night. So everyone have a good night. Good night, Dawn. Thank you for joining us. Yeah. Good night. Yeah. So there's a lot of benefit, I think, to eating fruits that are closer to being alive, right? I mean, you pick them right away and eat them. The longer you let something sit on a shelf, the less nutrients it's going to have. And the earlier you pick it before it's ripe, the less nutrients it's going to have, right? So there is that optimal time to preserve things and to cook things and to use things and to eat things. So I think that that's really important where you can to grow things that you eat. Do I always do it? No. Should I? Yes. Yeah. Witch Doctor saying night, Dawn, and Buster saying good luck, Dawn. Absolutely. Good night. Yeah. So is anybody, I know, Witch Doctor, you said you're talking about getting the essential oil machine. Is anybody else doing that? I am. I already got my order in. Right. So Steve says if it's not getting nutrients from the soil as it ripens, it merely changes color. Yeah, and it doesn't actually gain anything. It just it might seem sweeter, but that's just the carbohydrates changing to sugars. So it's not it's just what's in the fruit changing form, not getting something extra. Yeah. Yeah. I guess avocados might be that way too sometimes. They might be harder. I don't know if that's true or not. Somebody grows avocados, let me know. Because I think I've seen them on trees that have been soft, but usually when they're on the trees when they're soft, they're kind of past the point. But I don't know if that's just what I saw or if that's all of them. Yeah. PJ says, unfortunately, I can't afford it, but Harvest Right has their sale going on right now. Yes, they do, and they are great, and I recommend it. I recommend Harvest Right. Yeah. Payment plan, just a thought. Steve says, yep. Yep. Does have payment plan, and then depending on the size, you may or may not need a electrician out at your house. I got the large one, and it does require a different plug. But the smaller, I think the small one, I don't know about the medium one, but I think they don't require extra electricianship. Yeah, Steve says no minimum monthly payment. And it's not even monthly. It's you call them whenever you want a payment, and you make the payment over the phone, and there you go. Yeah. Witch Doctor said, I love our Harvest Right. Yep. Me too. Yeah, Buster says, I've seen that and really think you're thinking about it. Yeah, it's think about how you would use it, and then as long as you can justify it with saying, I'm going to use it for this, or I'm going to, I'd really like to can soup, but it has, I make this really good soup and it has milk in it. You can't can that, right? It's just not going to happen. You can can it and then add the soup or add the milk later when you open it, but you should not be canning, dairy. It also preserves the nutrients better and all of that. So yeah, there are definitely benefits to that. If you are already preserving food, take a look at what you're doing, and then take a look at what you would be doing with a freeze dryer. And I would say that with a big harvest, like if you have big harvest of peaches, it takes a long time to do all of it. Now I do have a large, and honestly, any size up that you can go, depending on what you're doing, it makes sense. Otherwise, you have to keep things in the freezer while that one's running, and then do it again, and all that. So think about your use. Think about how much you would use at a time, and all of that too. So yeah. Witch Doctor says they have a new insert too. Yeah, I haven't gotten that. I haven't really had a need for that. I do see where it would be nice to have that, but I just haven't done it. Witch Doctor says medium just plugs in. Okay. Steve says, I got the medium, but I don't have a garden. No special electric needed. Yep, that's good. Buster, you're thinking about it. I should have a thing. I haven't applied yet for an affiliate code. I need to do that, especially since they have a sale now. Yeah, down payment $250, and then after that, whatever, whenever. Yep. And Steve says, just don't use it to make candy. You get in big trouble when you do, but it's so good. Buster is asking, does it work great on squash? I have not. I've used it for zucchini. It does have an interesting texture when it comes out, when it's just raw. And but in soups, I put it in soup. That's how I tested it, and it was good. I am going to test blanching it first, and I am going to test just flat out making a bunch of zucchini and then freeze drying that. So I'm going to do some of these tests because I do still have a bunch of it. Yeah, I have a bunch. And yeah. I've also heard that you can make pumpkin puree, like pumpkin glop for pumpkin pie, which is what we're making for the Katrina's kits this month, which is the weekend before Thanksgiving. And so I will be putting that out here soon. We're going to be making pumpkin pie, and the pumpkin glop I've heard does well in the freeze jar. So I haven't done that yet. I will be doing it, but I haven't done it yet. I have pumpkin glop in the freezer because we made it last time. Steve says, yes, it does, Buster. We make squash chips with them. Awesome. Oh, so you're not rehydrating them. Yeah. I have tried just eating them, but it was thicker. So, yeah. It doesn't reconstitute like squash, but if you use it in soups, it's good. That's kind of what I was saying. But I would like to try blanching it and see if it's different. And then also just cooking it and seeing if it will just reconstitute as it's cooked. So I haven't experimented as much as I had hoped to by this point with it, but I'm definitely getting there. Yeah. Steve says you can puree the pumpkin and make your own pumpkin spice coffee. You could. I'm not a coffee person, but you could do that for sure. And the puree that I'm talking about is already cooked. I don't know if people try and puree it without it being cooked, but yeah. Anyway. So we have Harvest Right. There is a sale now, or going to be a sale. And yeah. I need to clean mine. It's been a while. I probably need to change the oil because I haven't done that ever. And go with there. Steve says, I experimented with pickles. It tasted like pickles. It was just yuck reconstituted. Yeah, I don't know why you would want to reconstitute it. I mean, unless you just got a good deal on pickles. I don't know that pickles go bad, do they? Oh, somebody tell me. They probably lose their crunch. Ed says, two gross things together, Steve. And Buster says, Steve, I think you are the one that told me about the electric quail egg peeler, and it worked great. Absolutely. Yeah, if you guys have quail and you don't have an electric quail egg peeler, you need it. If you hard boil your eggs. If you don't hard boil your eggs, you don't need it. But it is awesome and a time saver and a stress saver, and it's awesome. Yes, I have one. Steve says, I love my electric egg peeler. Yeah, I need to use it more. I need to hard boil more eggs, I think. Well, I think what I usually do is I do like a humongous batch. Like I save them up, I do a humongous batch. I think I need to do like smaller batches and go from there. But right now, my eggs are currently in my egg turner, waiting to go into the incubator in a couple days. I might start tomorrow. I might start the day after. We'll see. See how many my girls give me. Yeah, if you haven't tried the electric egg peeler, it's pretty amazing. Yeah, Buster says, me too, Steve, when you peel hundreds of eggs. Yeah. So did anybody make the fire cider that I did a video on? Has anybody done that? Are you stirring it every day or shaking it every day? It's a reminder. Oh, PJ's falling asleep, 4 a.m. Wake up. Good night, PJ. Thank you for coming. No. Ed, you haven't? Were you going to? Or are you just not going to? Yeah, it's sitting over on the table above the freezer, and I stir it every day. It's actually starting to smell more like the fire cider that I'm used to smelling now, and not so much like apple cider vinegar. So that's a better thing for me. Better thing for me to not have it smell like that. No fire cider for Steve either. No, it is good to have. It is a good thing that, like I said, my body did crave it after about using it for about a week. Then I'm like, oh, I missed it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I need that. And has good properties in it. I don't like vinegar either, Ed. I don't like vinegar either. I like pickles, but I don't like vinegar. But you don't have to like it. You treat it like medicine. You're not guzzling this thing. Yeah. Yeah, Buster, that's good. Says I haven't, but showed it to my mom and she wants to try it. Try it. Just make sure you shake it or stir it every day so that things aren't sticking out of the top, and it kind of gets all the bacterias in there swirled around. Yeah, it actually is pretty impressive what it turns into, and I mean you can strain it out, and people add honey to it as well, and that honey is also good for you. So there you go. I like vinegar on my spinach. That is an odd thing to say, Steve. Just vinegar? Just straight up vinegar? Ed says wife loves vinegar. I don't understand those people. Wendy, I don't understand you. No, I like pickles, but I'm not a vinegar fan. I don't like, they had like the vinaigrette dressing. I'm like, that just ruins the salad. Like, no, thank you. Yeah. But to each their own. To each their own. Yeah. So, you guys have any questions, any topics of discussion? Because we kind of went through our topic of discussion pretty quick. Pretty quick. We might have a short night here on our hands, which is okay. It's an early night. It's already an hour earlier than it should be, right? Yeah. Nobody's talking? Oh, man, guys. All right. Well, I hope you guys have your fall or winter gardens going or started or thinking about starting. And if you have not done that yet, I encourage you to get out your seeds and see what you can plant right now, because if you don't plant something, you can't do anything with it. You can't eat it. So if you plant it, then you have the potential to eat it. Yeah. Sorry? You don't have to say sorry. Early, it's 10:18 this time last week. 11:18, Steve. We don't even know what time it is anymore, right? Yeah, we're an hour behind now. Yeah, we're an hour behind where it was. Oh, you guys are different time zones, though. Never mind. Never mind. Yeah. Yeah. Well, guys, I think it might be about time to sign off here. People are slowing down in conversation and dropping off to go to bed. It is later than it usually is because of our time change. Other than that, it's all right. Steve says, I'm Central. Ed is Eastern. Yeah, I figured that out. Still early for me? It feels later. It certainly feels later. Like it's dark outside. It shouldn't be dark. Yeah. But I'm hoping that we keep cooling off a little bit and we don't bounce back up to 80s. We don't need that. Yeah. And then I'm going to rebreed my 2 little girls that did not kindle. I said I was going to start that yesterday, but I haven't. So maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow night. We'll see. Yeah. Witch Doctor says, as always, love the chats. Good night, everyone. Good night. All right, guys. With that, I'm going to say good night. We're going to do early night. And there you go. Yes. There we go. Steve says dark here at 4:30 now. Don't remember to. How about remember to change all your timers for your quail. Instead of saying don't forget, you can just say remember, because that's more positive. Yep. Ed says I need to work on some eggs tomorrow. I cut the hole in the end. Now I need to clean the yolk out. All right. Sounds good. Buster says, Katrina, glad for your live. Enjoy them. And glad Verna's doing better. Absolutely. I enjoy the lives too. I enjoy them too. And I am also glad that Verna appears to be doing better. I'm hoping she continues to rest, because I think it's going to take a while to get back to 100%. Yeah. All right, guys. We will talk with you next week at 6 p.m. Pacific time, Monday. Let's try that again. Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. And I think this next weekend is a holiday, but I'll still be here. So we might have a small group again. I don't know. But we will see you next time. Have a wonderful night and have a great week, guys. Good night.